This is a fake one-sided rivalry. We got Angel Reese taking more shots at Caitlin Clark unnecessarily. You in Indiana having a great time partying. We see all the clips. Why can't you just do your thing? Why can't you just do your thing?
Want to know the exact moment Angel Reese's flashy marketing stunt blew up in her face? Imagine this. She launches her highly anticipated signature shoe campaign, billboards all over Indianapolis, her face on every screen, her slogan blasting through social media. The timing seemed perfect, right in the middle of WNBA All-Star Weekend, where all eyes were supposed to be on women's basketball. It looked like she was about to seize the spotlight and own the narrative, but then it happened. Caitlin Clark, the league's biggest draw, got injured just before the festivities began. Ticket prices plummeted almost overnight, dropping nearly 50%. The buzz around the weekend evaporated, and suddenly Reese's bold campaign looked less like confidence and more like...
But can Sarah Spain and the media stop going out there and saying that like the Caitlin Clark needs to do something to stop all this, when it is very clear this is a one-sided beef? And the one-sided beef is not from Caitlin Clark.
Opportunism on a very empty stage. The numbers don't lie. Without Clark, no one cared about the theatrics, so let's break it all down. Every awkward misstep, every poorly timed moment from Reese that weekend, and how the whole thing became a cautionary tale about trying to win a fight when your rival isn't even in the ring. When the WNBA planned this All-Star Weekend, it was supposed to be a turning point, the moment women's basketball.
We do start our show, though, with unfortunate news out of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark announced today that she will miss both the three-point contest and the WNBA All-Star Game this upcoming weekend in Indiana after re-aggravating a groin injury in that final minute of Tuesday's win over the Connecticut Sun. Clark had missed 4 games and the Commissioner's Cup final with that groin injury earlier this month, and now will be out for this weekend's festivities, which really stinks for fans, but you know that if there was any way that she could be out.
Basketball finally broke through to mainstream sports culture. The story seemed too good to fail. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese, hometown hero versus fiery rival, playing out in front of packed crowds, setting viewership records ESPN couldn't ignore. It had all the makings of a Hollywood script. Corporate sponsors had poured millions into campaigns. Nike had special edition gear ready to drop. ESPN hyped it as a must-watch event. Social media buzzed with countdowns, predictions, and debate over who would come out on top. Hotels sold out, restaurants staffed up. The Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the centerpiece of the event, sold out within hours. Everyone assumed this would be the weekend that changed everything. Then news broke. Clark suffered a groin injury and would miss the event. You could almost hear the air leak out of Indianapolis. For months, fans had been booking flights.
It's a story we have been following throughout the past 2 days. Surrounds a superstar herself, Caitlin Clark, the WNBA star, the Indiana Fever star, Caitlin Clark. She's going to miss all the action on the court.
Hotels and tables many just to watch Clark play on her home turf. Businesses geared up for record crowds. Sponsors banked on the Clark-Reese rivalry to deliver headlines. But with one injury, the foundation cracked. Suddenly, every carefully crafted marketing plan seemed shaky. The central narrative, the one fans, sponsors, and media cared about, was gone. This wasn't just any player going down. Caitlin Clark had single-handedly dragged the WNBA into mainstream sports conversations. She made casual sports fans care. Her games became must-TV even for people who'd never watched women's basketball before. Without her,
Caitlin Clark gets hurt. And guess what? Your demand vanishes because people ain't gonna pay up to see these athletes that are ungrateful that their sport's growing. People aren't paying up for that. And we are here, right here. The tickets for this game, for this All-Star game, they've dropped by 50%.
Product felt hollow. The weekend that was supposed to celebrate women's basketball turned into a harsh reminder of how fragile the league's momentum really is. While Clark was sidelined, Angel Reese decided it was her moment. Reese launched her I'm in Your City campaign right there in Indianapolis, Clark's home turf. Her Reebok signature shoe campaign plastered billboards across the city. Social media posts declared her presence loudly. She even paired the messaging with the hip-hop anthem "Take Over Your Trap." It was meant to come off as bold, aggressive, and confident, like she was conquering enemy territory. But with Clark unable to play, it looked less like competition, and more like trash talk aimed at a defenseless opponent. Social media lit up, and not in the way Reese probably hoped. Fans called it opportunistic and
But when it comes to the vendors in the arena, the shops in the arena, they're not going to have the same amount of people patronize their business as they would if Caitlin Clark was there. The surrounding restaurants, the surrounding areas, the surrounding attractions, they're not going to have the same number of people patronize their business as they would if Caitlin Clark was healthy.
Sure, some applauded the marketing hustle, but far more questioned why she would double down on the rivalry when Clark couldn't even suit up. Comments ranged from light-hearted jokes to sharp criticism. Why are you claiming her city when she can't even compete? This feels like kicking someone while they're down. Here's where it got worse. Instead,
Reebok, Angel Reese are taking shots at Caitlin Clark, using her as promo. Angel Reese, let's be clear here. Let's just be all the way clear here. Angel Reese is a solid basketball player. Angel Reese 100% has benefited from attaching herself to Caitlin Clark at every single turn. Her podcast, the first 3 episodes, all the clips promoting was bringing up Caitlin Clark. It was bringing up Caitlin Clark and all of the promo. People wanted to know what she was gonna say. She used Caitlin Clark as promo.
Instead of adjusting her tone once it was clear Clark wouldn't play, Reese pushed even harder. Other players softened their competitive messaging out of respect for Clark's situation, not Reese. She kept posting, kept leaning into the narrative, kept acting like this was her city to take. The contrast was glaring. While most All-Stars focused on enjoying the weekend and celebrating the league's progress, Reese was out there throwing punches at thin air. As one analyst put it,
Angel Reese, I'm in your city. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. Post it on Instagram. There's about 15 fans there and Reebok put up a board. You would expect Reebok to put up a board. Let's never forget that when let's never forget the gigantic Caitlin Clark Nike billboard in Chicago. Let's never forget that. So if Reebok didn't put up a board for Angel Reese,
she was fighting a one-sided rivalry. Her opponent wasn't even in the building. Meanwhile, the hard numbers told the real story. Want to know how much Caitlin Clark means to the WNBA? Look at the ticket market. Before her injury, the get-in price for the All-Star game was $121. The average resale price, $260.
You continue to take shots at her, and then when them shots get fired back, nobody likes it. We don't have no videos of Caitlin Clark really taking shots at Angel Reese. Look at what Angel Reese and Reebok are doing for views.
52, the highest in league history. Some courtside seats topped thousands of dollars. Then Clark's injury news broke. Within hours, prices crashed nearly 50%. The get-in dropped to $64. Those premium seats sat empty. This wasn't just a minor dip. This was the market screaming. Without Clark, the product loses half its value. TickPick data confirmed it. The All-Star game went from record-breaking demand to panic selling. Even at rock-bottom prices, fans weren't rushing in. This isn't new either. Earlier in the season, when Clark missed 2 regular season games, ticket prices for road games in Washington and Chicago fell by 47% and 71%, respectively. That's not normal superstar impact. That's generational talent economics.
Caitlin Clark has never said a negative word about Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark has never said a negative word, or to be honest, when it comes to Caitlin Clark, she did show it by her actions. Showed it by her actions. She didn't need to say, I'm taking over Chicago. She did, however, go and put up 31 and 12, set a career high with 12 assists, be the only player in the history of the WNBA ever to have 31 and 12 in a game. She did, in fact, do that and then try to hype up the Chicago crowd. So it's fair enough, you want to say, oh, Caitlin Clark did this, then show it with your actions. Go and win MVP. Go and win MVP. Don't just be like, this is my city. Don't just come in and be like, this is my city. You've never won a game. Has she won a game in Indiana? I don't think she's ever won a game in Indiana. I actually do not think she has won a pro game in Indiana.
The ripple effects stretched beyond the arena. Merchandise sales slumped. Restaurants and hotels saw cancellations. Downtown businesses that had stocked up for crowds were left holding extra inventory. Local vendors who invested in all-star merchandise were staring at losses. Clark's absence revealed just how dependent the WNBA and the weekend's entire economic ecosystem has become on her presence. That's both a blessing and a curse. When she's healthy, the league rides a wave of attention and revenue. But when she's not, everything wobbles. And while all this was happening with the league's value visibly crashing, the players chose this exact moment to stage a labor protest. During warm-ups, WNBA players wore shirts reading "Pay us what you owe us."
Now with Reebok she's using, this is non-stop. She has attached herself to Caitlin Clark at every single turn, and she has benefited. Let's be clear here. Yes, she does receive backlash. She does receive negativity. But she has benefited greatly. She has made millions of dollars off of attaching herself to Caitlin Clark and using her to make her brand bigger.
Demanding better salaries and working conditions. The grievances themselves were legitimate. Players have been pushing for charter flights, higher pay, better maternity support, and expanded rosters. But the timing was catastrophic. Here's why. Fans had just seen the product lose nearly half its market value in real time. Seeing players demand more money while the league's biggest star was sidelined and ticket prices tanked. Felt tone-deaf. Social media erupted again, this time with confusion and anger. Many fans felt like the players were biting the hand that feeds them. Comments pointed out the irony of demanding more when the audience only seemed to show up for one player, who wasn't even there. Even Caitlin Clark herself has said players deserve to be paid more, but she wasn't the one wearing protest shirts that weekend at other pro leagues. Don't use their biggest showcase events to stage contract disputes. The NBA doesn't wear protest gear during All-Star Weekend. The NFL doesn't turn the Super Bowl into a labor rally. Fans expect those events to be about the sport, not the business. The WNBA protests may have raised valid points, but it landed poorly because of when and how it happened. So what did we learn? First, Caitlin Clark isn't just another player. She's the foundation the WNBA's current success is built on when she plays. Arena sellout.
The ticket prices, the demand fell off a cliff. And it's not just the on-court product that suffers without number 22, Caitlin Clark. The entire weekend's economic opportunities have felt the fallout. This was conveyed with a July 18th post from NBA Central that wrote, quote, "The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48%, from $121 a ticket to $64 a ticket after the news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing." I mean, the tickets lost 50% of its value. These numbers are confirmed by TickPick's website, currently having the All-Star Game's get-in price at $64, and a July 16th article from Front Office Sports, which was posted before Clark announced she'd be sitting out, was $121.
TV ratings spike, and merchandise flies off shelves. When she doesn't, the market cuts the league's value in half. Second, Angel Reese's marketing campaign might have worked if her rival had actually been there to face her. Instead, she looked like she was shadowboxing in an empty arena, trying to claim a crown no one was defending. Third, timing matters. Players' labor demands, however justified, got lost in the chaos because fans saw them as out of touch with the weekend's reality. Reese can put up all the "I'm your city" billboards she wants. You can flood Instagram with catchy slogans and hype videos, but none of that changes the fact that the numbers and the fans make it clear. Caitlin Clark is the one driving the bus right now. The weekend was a disaster for everyone but Clark herself. Her absence only highlighted her irreplaceable value. The league gets sponsors, and its players learned the hard way what happens when you don't have your star. And when Clark comes back, she'll have an even bigger stage to reclaim what was hers. The Fever's championship push next season is going to be even more compelling because of everything that happened this weekend. So go ahead and comment Baby Giraffe below to roast Angel Reese's miscalculated stunt. And remember, the market never lies. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss what happens next.